We are around 65 people. I think we can start. Thank you very much one more time for joining our webinar today. The topic of our presentation will be building a scalable risk management process in Jira. We will try to cover distinctive parts of this webinar. We will try to talk about the philosophy of the risk management itself, and we will try to share some kind of technical aspects of the risk management process. Let's get started. First of all, about the speakers. My name is Emin. I am Deputy CEO here at Softgile. I'll present the company afterwards, and Nataliia, my colleague and co-presenter today, she's delivery manager with more than 10 years of experience of risk management. First of all, I wanted to thank our sponsors, devs.kz, Most IT Hub, Core 24/7, Startup Shoyhana, IT Opportunity, and IT Nomads. Thank you very much for supporting. I really wish to see you afterwards in our webinars, offline and online events. And by the way, if you or your company want to sponsor us afterwards, we'll be more than grateful. Agenda of our presentation. We will try to make this presentation not a sales, but more valuable in terms of content, and just dive into the topic directly. We will try to understand risks in terms of their nature. We will see how we can set them up in Jira, and we will leave some time in question and answer section within the presentation. In terms of organization of our webinar, you can be sure that at the end of the presentation, you will have a chance to take a bonus. That's why please stick till the end of our presentation today. About us, why do we really think that we are capable of talking about risk management and Jira administration? We are Softgile company, Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner. We are presented in 7 countries and working with more than 50 clients on daily basis. We have implemented like many projects in this niche. Our main customers are banking, telecommunication, and insurance sectors. Nevertheless, in our portfolio, we have a lot of fintech institutions, we have a lot of IT organizations, etc. And now some more information about Nataliia and her expertise. Nataliia, giving a word to you. You can present your skills way better than I do. And let's switch to your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Emin. Let me share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes, seems like all good.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us in scope of this webinar. And thank you, Emin, for presenting me. You mentioned that I have 10 years experience working with risks, but it's quite not correct information. I have more than 10 years working in IT industry, yes, and with risks I actively working for the last maybe 5 years in a professional manner. But anyway, thank you very much for this achievement put on me. So let me a little bit present myself. My name is Nataliia Hradobyk. I am PMP certified project manager, and also I'm performing delivery manager role in my current large-scale product company. I have around 7 years of experience leading agile teams and managing complex projects. I love process development, setting up processes from scratch, improving project and delivery processes in scope of projects, and now in scope of my AI department. Also, my other law is metrics, and I do law implement metrics on the project level, department level, team level, to measure the project success and the process efficiency and team performance. Therefore, 1 year ago, I created the metrics guide, the practical handbook for measuring and understanding team and project metrics. And also, I'm, as you see, active speaker at community events, and I often share my insights on my LinkedIn page, helping professionals to grow in their careers. So today we will talk about a little bit why risk matters. It will be a quick refresher for all of us. Then we will talk about ways how to run risk tracking, and I will share some conclusions, yes, based on my experience. After this, we will switch to practical recommendation how to set up risk tracking in Jira. And at the end, we will focus on risk metrics you can track in Jira when you switch your risk tracking into this tool. So let's remember and set the stage before going deeply into our current topic. What is the risk? So the risk is an uncertain event, yes, that may have positive or negative impact on our project objectives, such as scope, schedule, cost, and quality. And negative risks are called threats, and project managers should indicate them as early as possible in our project lifecycle, and normally we apply such risk response strategy to work with negative risks, like avoid, mitigate, transfer, escalate, and even accept. And when we are talking about positive risks, they are called opportunities. And when project managers see the opportunities in scope of his or her project, the following risk response strategies should be applied, like enhance, exploit, share, escalate, or accept. And normally, project managers and delivery managers are focusing on threats on the scope of their project, yes, because they can jeopardize project objectives. And for example, what is threat or negative risk in scope of software development project? Imagine a situation that your team is starting a new project, and they would work with completely unknown technology. This technology is new for them. So in this case, there is a risk of failing their project deadlines due to steep learning curve and unexpected technical challenges that your team may face during the implementation of this project. So to sum up, effective risk management is essential to success of any project, and good project manager, yes, has identified them not only at the beginning, but during the whole project life cycle. So how project management, risk management looks like? It's a cycle of activities, and firstly we identify risk, then we have to assess the risk, then we have to plan the risk response strategy, and after this we have to monitor all the identified risks, yes, and check the risk triggers, for example. Also, to understand which metrics we can collect in scope of risks, the very important item to understand is risk score. What is the risk score? It's the multiplication of risk probability and risk impact. And risk probability is the chance that a specific risk event will occur on your project. And the risk impact is the measure of level of consequence a risk would have on project objective. So each identified risk, yes, will have these items like probability, impact, and risk score, which will be calculated based on probability and impact. And here you can see even the metrics, how this value is calculated. So the higher probability and the higher the impact of the risk, the higher would be the risk score. So we can use the risk score as a prioritization tool. And firstly, project and delivery managers should focus on addressing risks with a critical and high risk score. Yes, and only after focus on risks with lower risk score. In my experience, I faced with various ways to run risk tracking. And some projects are using Excel or Google spreadsheet to track risks where they have a table with the corresponding fields where risk, as soon as risk is identified, it should be put into this table. And other teams are using Confluence. The same table is created, but in this case in Confluence, and all the required fields should be populated as soon as risk is identified. Also, in my previous company, we used in-house application for tracking risks, and it was like completely separate application that was not connected neither to Jira, neither to other delivery tools, and we tracked all the risks there. In my current company, for the last year, I'm tracking all the risks in Jira, and based on my personal experience and preference, as of now, for me, it's the most convenient and the most useful way to track risks. And further, I will try to demonstrate you why I think so. And I know that there are also dedicated risk management platforms. So in scope of this webinar, I'm not going to compare Jira as a risk tracking tool to the professional dedicated risk management platforms, as far as I don't have experience working with them. I can only compare Jira to Excel, Confluence, or in-house applications that I used. Okay, so let's talk about tracking risk in Confluence or Excel when we are using some table with defined field that should be populated as soon as risk is defined and updated as soon as risk is assessed, risk response strategy is defined, and some updates in scope of risk occur. So in this way, we do have some advantages. And this way of risk tracking is the most simple and the most quick to set up. It's easy for team to access and edit this risk register. It's flexible in formatting. You can set any column you want. And I believe that this way is suitable for small projects, for small teams where you do not need to track the risk picture in scope of program or portfolio level. But I faced some disadvantages of this approach. And the first one is that limited visibility. So often this document become a static document. Risks are put there, and it's often occur that they are not reviewed. Yes, nobody is putting attention to the risk in this table after it was recorded there. Manual updates may lead to some outdated information. There is no automated alerts, workflows, or integrations when you are using this method. In case you want to create some report, it requires your manual effort, and there is no real-time dashboards, especially when you are tracking risk register in Confluence, because in Excel and Google Spreadsheet, you can invent some calculations, yes, on a separate tab, using some bar charts or pie charts available in Google Sheets, for example. But the main pain point in scope of this way of risk tracking is that you cannot link individual risk to a specific report or epic or ticket or even rollout plan. You only can link the entire, yes, risk register, or when you want to reference a particular risk, you need to provide its unique identifier. So it's not suitable. The stakeholder to which you are sharing the risk need to go to the register and find this particular risk and read all the information. All you need all the time to copy paste the information about the risk from the register to another chat or resource where you would like to mention the information about this risk. And working with Jira for the last year as a risk tracking tool, I saw a lot of advantages, and my main pain points were resolved. And I was so happy by this that I agreed to participate in this webinar, yes, and share my recent experience. So first of all, tracking risks in Jira, what does it mean? It means that you have to create a separate issue type risk. It should be the similar issue type as you have task, story, bug. On the same level, you would need to create a risk issue type. In this case, this issue type have all the features and advantages as other issue types. You can link this risk to a particular epic, to a particular task, to a particular story. You can mention it in a comment under the particular ticket. You can easily send the risk, single risk, yes, to a particular stakeholder into the Slack channel, for example, or add it to the report in front of the required information. When you are tracking risk in Jira, you have clear ownership because you can use the default assignee field, statuses, due dates. You can measure risk aging. About this metric, we will talk a little bit later. Also, you can add custom field risk owner and also build reports and metrics based on each and every field, which is set up for your risk issue in Jira. Also, you can use automation. And for example, when critical risk is created for your high priority project, an automatic message could be sent, for example, in Slack and tagging the corresponding project stakeholders. Also, you can build real-time dashboards, reports with filters and metrics. You can have consistent structure of your predefined fields, and you can set up mandatory fields for your issue type risk to make sure that all the required fields are always populated by person who is reporting this risk in scope of his or her project. And also, the very valuable feature is tracking all the changes. So Jira out of the box provides you the history, how and who and what was changed in scope of ticket. And it's also very useful when you would like to track how the information about the particular risk was changed and when and by whom. But as any other risk tracking tool, Jira also has its disadvantages. For example, you need to make this configuration. Yes, you cannot track risks out of the box. You need to set up this additional issue type. You need to think about the list of fields that you would track, the rules link it to fields if necessary. Also, you need to think about the workflow. Then you need to conduct initial onboarding, yes, for those who would need to use this feature, and share how to follow this new risk management approach using the Jira as risk tracking tool. And another one challenge when you are delivery manager, portfolio or program manager, and you are managing projects which are located in separate Jira instances. And for example, it's common for outsource environment. In this case, you will not be able to consolidate information about risks, yes, in some unified report. You would need to export them from each Jira and process separately, I don't know, for example, in Excel. But in our company, we use single Jira instance. All my projects are located in the same Jira. So in my case, it's not an issue for me. So let's consider steps that you would need to do to set up risk tracking in Jira. And the steps are quite simple. As I mentioned already, you would need to create a separate risk issue type and define all the fields. There will be some default fields like assignee, summary, and custom fields. Then you would need to define the risk issue type workflow that would fit your risk management flow in scope of your company. After this, you would need to add risk issue type to all projects in your company that will need to track risks in scope of Jira tracking tool. After this, you need to start logging risk in Jira and linking them to corresponding delivery tickets. The next step would be to build risk register dashboard and create metrics dashboard. And at the end, you can automate critical escalations, yes, to automatically receive notification in case some risks corresponding to the specified rules are created in scope of your projects, programs, or portfolios. So now let's consider all the steps in the details. And Emin, do we have any questions so far, or can I continue?
Nope, I think you can go on. Hope that they are just taking their notes and preparing for the Q&A session.
Okay. So the first step to create the risk issue type, and here I put a screenshot how this ticket looks like in our company, and I specified the list of the basic fields that you would need to start running risk tracking in Jira. So the default fields: project assignee, and several others that would be added by default. And custom fields, you would need risk description, risk category, such as people-related risk, timeline-related risks, etc. Risk impact that we already talked about at the beginning, and here you would need, for example, values from low to high, low, medium, high, or low, medium, high critical, depending on how would you calculate the risk impact in scope of your company. Then risk probability, the same drop down with the same values, and the field risk score should be calculated automatically. We asked our Jira administrators to set up this field for us and provided him that metrics that I demonstrated you at the beginning to set the rules which risk score should be automatically assigned to the risk depending on which impact and probability was selected. Also, you would need such field as risk response plan and risk owner. So this is like the minimum required fields, but you for sure may add other fields that you are using now in your risk register table in Confluence or Excel spreadsheet. The next step is the defining the risk workflow. And here your risk workflow in Jira should align with a risk lifecycle. And let's remember the risk management lifecycle that I was demonstrated at the beginning. Initially, a risk is identified, then it was assessed, then a response plan is created. After this, we are monitoring the risk, and at the end, the risk may be closed when it transition to issue, or it become not relevant anymore. So in our company, we have the following workflow for our risk issue type. The open status means that risk is identified, but it is not evaluated yet, and the risk response strategy is not developed. The next status is in progress. It means that risk is under analysis. It is in evaluation stage, and risk response strategy is implementing for this risk. As soon as risk is transferred to process status, it means that risk was assessed and corresponding risk response strategy was developed. Also, we have this technical rejected status for those risks that were created by mistakes. And the final status is closed. As I mentioned, we move tickets into this status as soon as it became irrelevant, or in case risk materialized and became an issue. In this case, we are not converting risk into issue because we are tracking all the issues in Jira as well, and do not mix issue and bug. Bug, it's a defect that is found in your software, and the issue is event that occur and that has some negative impact on your project. So in this case, the risk is closing and is linking to the corresponding issue.
Natalia, we have a question on this one.
Yes.
One of our participants asked, should be calculated automatically? Do we need to use any automations?
Yes, we are calculating automatically risk score. And what else? What are the parameters that might be calculated automatically? The person is asking for.
Okay, Kamil, we just wanted to figure out if you can provide us some more details so we could give you like more enhanced answer. And dear team, this is just a part of presentation. And as promised, at the end of presentation, if you just have an opportunity to scan our QR code, you will get a bonus from Nataliia. It's just a mini guide about risk management. So just be sure to stick till the end of presentation. Thank you very much, Nataliia. Let's go on.
Okay, thank you. And but it's not a guide about the risk management, it's a guide about metrics.
Thank
Mini
you.
guide. Okay, let's move on. So the next step, build risk register dashboard. And here I would like to share with you one of the use case, how I am using visualizing risk register in scope of my everyday routine. I have such dashboards set up for my each development team. And on this dashboard, I have like health check metrics that provides me quick insight into how things are going in scope of the team. And one of the metric is the pie chart that demonstrate the amount of open risks. And this pie chart is grouped by risk score. So by one view, I can see that, for example, 3 risks are now open in scope of this team. This means they are active. And the majority of these risks are has medium risk score, and one risk has a high risk score. And under this metric, I have the risk register. And here we can see some details of these 3 risks. Yes, I can quickly check the summary, the risk owner, the status, who reported this risk, the risk score, and the risk age, for how long this risk exists in scope of this team. And also I have such metrics as sprint goal achievement rate, velocity chart, work item age, forecast plan fact, etc. So this is just one of the use cases, yes, how you can incorporate risk register visualization into your delivery process on team level. And further, I will demonstrate you how to work with a program or portfolio level.
Nataliia, one more question here. So if the risk is in progress, does it mean that the task or feature is under development, which includes the risk? Or it means that the description or anything else of the risk is in progress?
The risk not necessarily relates to the development task. Yes, we are using issue type risk in Jira to track risks. And risk can be related to epic, to task, but it also cannot be related. So if you would like to return to this workflow, for my case, in progress means that risk in this assess and response definition stage. So remember, at the beginning, I demonstrated you the risk management cycle. And the first step of risk management cycle is to identify the risk. In this stage, we are reporting risks with status open. And for me, as for delivery manager, this means that in case I see in risk register risks in open status, I understand that my project manager or other person identified the risk and reported it, but this risk was not processed yet. In case I see in a risk register that risk is in progress, this means that the person who is assigned or who is a risk owner is now working on evaluating the risk, on putting the correct probability and impact, and also is developing the risk response strategy. And as soon as a risk entity in Jira is moved into process status, for me as for delivery, this means that risk was evaluated and corresponding risk response strategy was implemented. I can open this risk and look for details, read the risk response strategy, the comments, and if necessary, discuss this risk with the corresponding project manager or stakeholder.
Okay, things like you answered the question and the participant is satisfied, and I'm just reminding you that you have 10 more minutes left. So let's speed up and share the
Okay.
content.
Okay. I demonstrated you one of the use case how to incorporate risk register into your dashboards. And now let's talk about the risk metrics I am gathering in scope of my domain to have more transparent view, yes, on risks related to particular projects. So I'm working in my current company for the 2 years. And normally we have around 10 projects in parallel. So before, when we tracked risks in separate Confluence pages, it was like it was very hard for me, yes, to keep an eye on all risks, and I had to review all the risk registers with my project managers, and it was really not convenient. But after new PMO joined our company, he suggested to switch to Jira, and it was a game changer for me. So now I would share with you the dashboard that I built using the rich filters, and I use this dashboard to monitor all the risks in scope of my department and each and every project separately. So rich filters, it's widgets similar to default gadgets in Jira, like pie charts or two-dimensioned tables. But the main difference is that you have the controller, which provides you to define filters that you can change dynamically. And when, for example, I'm selecting from the drop down here a particular project, all the gadget that is placed on this dashboard is updating automatically and is providing me information only about the selected project. As well, I can deselect all the projects and see the full picture related to my whole department. And in similar way, our PMO can build such report and see the risk status, distribution, aging in scope of all departments that are working in our company. So what metrics I have on this dashboard? The simplest one is risk count. It doesn't provide many insights, but I do like to watch some statistics. And for example, I'm tracking how many risks are reported for the particular time frame, and how many of them are active now. And when you would use your basic Jira tools, and you don't have like an opportunity to connect rich filter plugin, you can set up similar metrics. By default, Jira charts. And for example, I'm using here two-dimension filter statistic, yes, and I can set up filter that retrieve all risks and filters that retrieve only active risks and build such tables that would provide me the same information. The amount of reported risks, all reported risks, and for example, the amount of active risks now. And you can build such dashboard, for example, for your portfolio, where you will retrieve risks for all your projects, and then build separate dashboards for separate projects. The next metric is
Sorry, Natalia, we have one more question. Actually, we had a couple of them. I tried to answer for one of them. If you have more questions, guys, feel free to ask. I'll share my contact here and you can contact administrators afterwards. So, Natalia, the question is risk management only for management stakeholders, or is it also presented to and processed by implementation team?
we are using risk management not only for stakeholders, but we are using it for um, effective management of a project, and all the risks are discussed with the team, yes, and they are reported. They often are reported by some suggestions, yes, of the team members. So this, and to be honest, these metrics, we are not demonstrating these metrics to our customers, to our clients. Me as delivery and my project managers, we are using these metrics internally because we are responsible for effective delivery. And this is my tool, yes, to make sure that delivery is healthy. So this you should not share each and every metric with your stakeholders. You should use metrics to make sure that your project is green, that your project is implementing in accordance to schedule, scope, budget, etc.
Okay, wonderful. We have two more questions, but this is
Again,
what I suggest.
I
Yeah,
propose to not answer questions
exactly.
anymore.
We have just 3 minutes, so that's why I just suggest you to keep
Mhm.
going. Afterwards, I'll take advantage of my speech, and
Mhm.
if we have time, we will definitely cover those questions. If
Mhm.
no, we will forward them personally to you, and you'll be able to
Yes,
answer or we'll think something about it. Okay.
yes, I can answer all remaining question in follow-up. So here, for example, in rich filter, I set a color coding, and I visualize the status distribution using the red, yellow, and green colors. And in case risk is in open status, yes, it is pie chart is colored in red. For those amount of risks that are in progress, this pie chart is colored in yellow. And for processed and closed, the color is green. So by one view, quick view, I can evaluate the health of risk life cycle. Yes, how much risks we have in open and in progress status. And in case the amount is big, it's a red flag for me that I need to clarify, to analyze why do we need so open and in progress risks, why they are not assessed and risk response strategies are not implemented. So similar widget we have in default Jira tools, and you can build the same pie chart, but unfortunately for this chart, you cannot set up the color coding, and you would need to live with this default color coding, which is not suitable, and you would not be able to check this health status quickly. You will need a little bit pay time to analyze what color relates to which status. The next metric is actual risk by risk score. Here I built a pie chart also using rich filter, where I group all the risks by its risk score, and I use the same color coding approach. Critical risks are highlighted in intensive red. High score risks are highlighted in light red. Medium score risks in amber, and low in green. And by one quick view, I can see how risks are distributed by its risk score, how open risks are distributed. And in case we have huge amount of critical risks, it's also a red flag for me that I need to analyze what happens. Why do we have so much critical risks, and vice versa? In case majority of risks have low risk score, for me as for delivery, it's a red sign that maybe teams underestimated the risks, and I need to double check if those risks indeed have low risk score. And the same, you can build this pie chart using the default chart in Jira, but unfortunately you would not be able to set up this convenient color coding. The next metrics, you can group risks by projects, and you can define projects that have the biggest amount of risks as of now. And for this example, you can see that project D have 65% of all reported risks. So for me, it would be a red flag that I need to go to understand why this project have so much active risks. And vice versa, in case project has no risks reported or one or two active risks, I need to go and to check if risk management process is in place, and if team and project manager are identifying and reporting risk. And the next metric and the next example how you can realize this using the Jira default chart. Here you can use two-dimension filter to demonstrate amount of risks per project and per risk score, and also visualize this using the pie chart. And the last metric is risk age metric, where I'm calculating it for open risks and for processed risks. And by the way, in guide that you will receive at the end of this webinar, there will be an instruction how to build this age metric, but for the defect. But you can use the same approach for building this metric not only for defects but for each and every issue type in Jira. So here I am tracking the age and what is the risk age. This is the amount of time from risk creation until the present day. And on this example, we can see that there is a critical risk that is in open stage. So it was not assessed and corresponding risk response strategy was not implemented. And it open already more than 120 days. So for me, it's like a clear sign that I need to check what is the risk about. Maybe it's obsolete and should be closed, or maybe we forgot about this risk and it should be processed. And similarly, I can group risk by its risk age and projects to see do we have any issues with timely processing risks in scope of particular project. And here examples how you can implement similar risk age tracking using the default Jira chart. So you should to create the filter that will retrieve all the risks in open status, yes, in open category that are older than 7 days, and you can demonstrate this risk on your dashboard using the filter result default gadget in Jira. And additionally, you can build a two-dimensional filter chart that will provide you a view of risks and its amount, how many risks in open status are in scope of each project divided by risk score. And here you would see all the risks that are older than a particular amount of days. For example, open risks older than 7 days. So this is all about metrics. So you will receive this presentation and you can try to apply those metrics to your projects and dashboards. And also here I am sharing you more details and information in scope of each step you would need to do to implement risk tracking in scope of Jira. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm ready to answer a question if we have time.
Yes, actually, we are not in a rush. Me personally, I'm talking about myself, but nevertheless, we have 5 more minutes of content. So if you don't mind, Natalia, I will share just my part of presentation. I will not take a lot of time. I will just take some commercial aspects of the things. Just here, our participants asked a couple of questions about your presentation. Natalia, you can find them here in our chat, and if you have time now, you can just answer them while I'm presenting. And some more details, I just left in the chat my personal email and contact at softgile.com. You can approach us in order to coordinate and stay connected. By the way, about connection, I'll share my LinkedIn account either. And if you will need any kind of demonstration, consulting, or anything else, just feel free to contact me or Natalia if she'll share her personal information. And we will be able to set up following meetings and discuss common cooperation opportunities. So let's dive to my part of presentation. It will take just really couple of slides. So Natalia covered one essential part of risk management. It's the project risks. And obviously, we all know that there are some more of that. We can take risks out of the direct tickets. This is one of the questions which asked one of our participants. Moreover, we can have incidents, alternative channels, etc. This is another type of workflow which we can have due to the risk management. And in this slide, we will try to help you how Softgile team can actually assist you with all of this process management, risk implementation, etc. We have three essential approaches how our team can assist you to build up your risk management strategy. There are actually three approaches. First, we can show, consult, share the best practices, etc., and technically build up the risk management in the system. Like you will get not only consultation themselves, not only regulations and governance, etc. You will have working tool just after our cooperation. In other case, if you have all the governance, all the regulations, all the things, and you just need only technical implementation, you can nevertheless approach our team and we'll just manually, technically create all of the workflows due to your business procedures. And another concept is if you have the system, if you have Jira administrators, etc., you can just approach us and Natalia with her expertise or our other consultants will be able to assist you to implement the system based on the best practice on the market. And now, couple of more reasons why you should work with our team. I can talk a lot actually about ROI, about SLAs, about ITIL, and way more fancy terms. But nevertheless, those are three essential things why you should cooperate with professional service team. First one is to save your time. Second, to save your money. And third, to save your nerves. Because if we have risk managers here, just guess who will build up the risk management in your Jira if you will talk to your management about the risk management implementation. I mean, like, I have more than 90% probability that you will take the charge of this project based on your shoulders. Why do you need extra responsibility besides your daily road operations? So here we are, we can contact and we can coordinate based on this thing. I have more time. If you guys have some meetings to run to, you can, or we can go on this Q&A session. Natalia, it's based to you.
Yes, I can spend some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to answer a question if needed.
Yes, sure. We have one question. I don't know if Yuri is still here or not, but he is asking, is it correct that each team member should take ownership about the risk he reported? This is his first question.
Not necessary. There would be two different fields. The reporter, yes, the risk reporter, which is, by the way, the default Jira field, and the risk owner. So responsible for the risk is risk owner. And normally in our company, the risk owner is defined with help of project manager. So in this case, team member can report the risk, yes, describe the risk summary and risk details, and send this risk to project manager. And project manager then responsible for processing this risk, to add all the details, to evaluate the risk, to define who would be the risk owner, to define the risk response strategy. So there should not be any additional workload for your development team in scope of managing risks when you are switching to Jira. The full responsibility on risk management relies on project manager. And even in my team, not all team members are reporting risks, yes, because they can just type message to project manager that, hey, I see some technical risk that should be reported, or during the daily stand-up, or during the planning or sprint review or retrospective, team is highlighting risks, yes, verbally, and the work of project manager is to report this risk. And in this case, when you're reporting it in Excel, either you are reporting it in Excel or in Jira, particularly you would spend the same amount of effort, yes, because you would need to fulfill the same fields. But afterwards, you would spend much less time for managing and processing all the reported risks when using Jira, because you can easily make various register formats, yes, like retrieve all the active risks, or retrieve all the open risks that are older than 1 month, or retrieve all the risks that are linked to a particular epics, or are linked to a particular release, or linked to a particular project, and so on and so forth. So there should not be any like extra efforts or extra mile for the team. And from my experience, for project manager, it simplifies the risk management in common.
Thank you very much, Natalia. I see that there are still 50 participants in here. So please, if you don't want our event manager to kill me because I forgot this form, just take out your phone and scan this QR in order to fill in the form about the feedback. It will definitely give us an opportunity to develop, and it will definitely give you a bonus from Natalia about the small guide about the metrics. So really kindly, please take it, scan it, and fill the form. Natalia, do you have time for a couple of more questions?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the second question, I think you actually answered it for some extent, but nevertheless. From the first look, this approach seems increasing time that team members should allocate additional time to analyze, create, process the risk flow. This question is it justified if you are working on outsourced projects with fixed price or limited time budget?
You should invest one day at the start to set up the process. Yes, to create the issue type, to think about the workflow, to define the fields. Then, as I mentioned, there is no extra mile between entering risks in Google spreadsheet or Confluence table and entering risk in Jira. And in case you are working in outsourced environment and fixed price project, you can sell this idea by demonstrating value it would bring to your project. When you have risk register somewhere in the Confluence where no one is checking it, you cannot link risk to a particular epic, add it to a particular report, track how the information and the status was changed. So you can like highlight all these advantages and sell the client that by using this approach, risks would be managed more transparently, and this would improve, yes, the delivery itself. And also what I like that you can link the risk created in Jira to any report or rollout plan or cutover plan in Confluence. And you know, yes, about this feature, when you are putting into Confluence the link to the ticket, it shows you the ticket summary and the status automatically. So in this case, you can reference to the particular risk from any needed Confluence page, and the information about the risk would be updated automatically as soon as you update the information about these risks in Jira.
Okay, and one last question. Do you integrate risk management with change management in the IT process?
It's a really common like question. I'm not sure if I would be able to answer it now, but what we are using, we are tracking risks in Jira, and also we are tracking issues in Jira. You can also track assumptions and dependency, yes. And how to integrate risk management in Jira with the change management would depend on how change management process is set up on your project or in your company. So in case you are creating change requests in Jira, yes, for sure, you can then create the corresponding risk entity, link them, and even build reports, retrieve me all the risks connected to change requests that were created for a particular project. So yes, for sure, you can integrate, but it depends how risk management, how mature is risk management in scope of your project or company.
Okay, I don't really see any more questions, at least in our chat. Let me check the question form. I have no idea where it is because I hate Zoom actually. Let me. No, we don't have any open questions. So guys, you have our contact information. You can contact me. We can have a demonstration, personal, just for your company, your team, etc. We will be more than happy to discuss cooperation opportunities together. Thank you very much for participation. For any more questions, just join us. Bye.
Thank you very much.